Bullies made a shy girl eat from a dog bowl. They had no idea her dad was the police chief. Before we dive into this story, drop your city or country in the comments. Let's see how far this story spreads. And if you enjoy this story, don't forget to hit subscribe. What started as a typical school day turned into a nightmare for one quiet girl. But there's more to this story than meets the eye. By the end, you'll see that courage, justice, and a father's love can turn even the cruelest situation upside down. It began in the schoolyard, where laughter echoed and tension hung in the air. A dare was whispered, cruel and deliberate. The shy girl was cornered against the wall, her back pressed to the bricks. Phones emerged from backpacks, screens ready to record. The bullies leaned closer, smirking, each of them egging the other on. She could feel their eyes piercing through her, mocking every movement. Her hands trembled, her heart pounded. The crowd circled around her like predators. The air was thick with fear and suspense. Everyone watching had a front row seat to the impending humiliation. But what the bullies didn't know was that something unexpected was about to happen. Her name was Lila James, a quiet, thoughtful girl who often went unnoticed. She had recently moved to this town, which meant she didn't have friends yet. Most days she sat at the back of the classroom, hoodie drawn tight over her head, sketchbook clutched in her hands. She drew to escape reality, filling pages with imagined worlds instead of words. Lila had learned to navigate life quietly, avoiding attention whenever possible. But her shyness made her a target. In middle school, being different often invites cruelty. And Lila's quiet ways had unknowingly put her in the bullies' crosshairs. What the bullies didn't know was that Lila's father, Chief Marcus Reynolds, had recently been promoted to police chief in their suburban district. He had spent years working undercover, tackling dangerous gangs and solving high-profile cases, but this transfer was meant for a different mission, protecting his daughter. He noticed subtle signs of distress. Quiet dinners, lowered eyes, hoodie sleeves pulled too far over her hands, but he never pushed. Instead, he listened, observed, and stayed vigilant. Only he knew the danger Lila faced from bullies at school. The audience senses his presence even before the bullies do. The tension grows as viewers wait to see how a father with the law on his side will intervene. At Ridgewood Middle, a clique of entitled students ruled the hallways. At the center was Jenna, the principal's daughter, popular, untouchable, and cruel. Her friends, equally arrogant, followed her lead. Lila's refusal to laugh at their jokes or bow to their teasing marked her as a target. Small acts of defiance, like ignoring their whispers or keeping to herself, enraged them. Notes were slipped into her locker, snickers followed her down the hall, and whispers filled the classroom. The bullies' arrogance created the perfect storm, setting the stage for something far worse. Suspense mounted with every hallway encounter. Everyone knew Lila would soon face the ultimate test of courage. The harassment started small but relentless. Someone bumped her in the hallway, just enough to trip her slightly. Cruel notes appeared in her locker. "We own you," and "Bow down, princess." Lunch trays were dumped on the floor, the remnants of her meal landing in a humiliating mess. Lila learned to endure quietly, never showing tears or anger. Each act chipped away at her confidence, but it also built a silent strength within her. Her observers, both teachers and classmates, rarely intervened. The stage was set for escalation. The bullies wanted something bigger, something public, and Lila was about to face the cruelest dare yet. The next day, Jenna brought a bright pink plastic dog bowl from home, labeled Princess. Cafeteria leftovers were dumped inside, and the dare was declared. Lila had to eat from it. In the courtyard, students formed a circle, phones raised, ready to capture every humiliating second. Lila's heart raced. Her hands shook. The laughter around her grew louder, echoing off the walls. "Bark like a dog," someone jeered. She knelt, swallowed her fear, and leaned forward. Every step felt like an eternity. The bullies thought they had all the power, but the audience feels the suspense. Someone is watching, and justice is quietly preparing to strike. Hidden inside Lila's backpack was a small camera, clipped by her father the night before. Chief Reynolds watched live on his phone, fury simmering beneath his calm exterior. He didn't rush to the school, didn't storm in. He calculated every move, ensuring the bullies would face consequences far beyond their imagination. The audience knows what the bullies don't. Justice is coming. The camera captured every detail, the mocking faces, the laughter, the trembling hands. And soon every cruel action would have its reckoning. Suspense hangs thick in the air, leaving viewers on the edge of their seats. The bullies stared in disbelief as Lila obeyed, kneeling before the dog bowl. For a brief moment, their smug confidence wavered. Around them, students reacted in mixed ways. Some laughed nervously, others whispered in shock, and a few offered sympathetic glances. Phones were still recording, capturing every humiliating detail. But unknown to the bullies, the most important eyes were elsewhere. At home, Chief Marcus Reynolds copied the footage from the live feed and sent it to the school superintendent, principal, and even the mayor. The tension was thick as viewers sensed that consequences were imminent. What had seemed like an ordinary act of cruelty was about to trigger a chain reaction that would shake the school and the town to its core. Within hours, the incident became the talk of Ridgewood Middle. School authorities were stunned when the video landed in their inboxes. The principal, superintendent, and even the mayor watched, disbelief etched on their faces. Social media in the town began buzzing as parents shared the footage and demanded accountability. Meanwhile, the bullies remained clueless about the scale of exposure. Their casual cruelty had gone viral in their own small community. Every second heightened suspense, as the audience knows that public reaction and disciplinary action are coming. What started as a private act of humiliation now had far-reaching consequences, and the bullies had no idea their world was about to change forever. That evening, a town hall meeting was held. Chief Reynolds stood before the room, not just as a police chief, but as a father determined to protect his child. He played the footage, every mocking laugh and cruel word visible to the entire audience. Silence fell, thick and heavy, as parents, teachers, and town officials absorbed the scene. Then, with calm authority, he spoke. "This isn't just about my daughter. It's about every child whose pain goes unnoticed." Lila sat in the front row, silent but composed. For the first time, she held her head high. The audience saw her not as a victim, but as someone whose courage sparked change. The tension gave way to a sense of justice, and a powerful reminder that courage and accountability can reshape a broken system. The next morning, Ridgewood Middle felt different. Jenna and her friends were suspended, required to attend counseling, and, in some cases, faced minor criminal harassment charges. The principal was put on administrative leave, and the school immediately began implementing anti-bullying reforms, including student-led campaigns and staff training. Students who had previously laughed or ignored the cruelty now reflected on their behavior. Some offered apologies to Lila, while others reconsidered their actions entirely. Justice had been served, not through anger or revenge, but through a careful, calculated response that ensured the bullies faced real consequences. The school and town learned a powerful lesson. Cruelty can no longer hide in silence. Lila walked the hallways differently now, her hoodie still up, sketchbook in hand, but with a quiet confidence that wasn't there before. Students who once mocked her now offered nods or sat beside her in class. She didn't need to change who she was. Respect came naturally because people saw her courage and dignity. Her bond with her father strengthened. Every morning he kissed her forehead and said, "You're stronger than they'll ever be." Humiliation had not broken her. It had built her resilience. Lila learned that being quiet didn't mean being powerless, and her courage became a model for others in the school. This story shows that justice, courage, and a parent's love can turn even the darkest moments into lessons of strength. Humiliation doesn't define the quiet ones. It builds them. And when truth comes with a badge and a father's unwavering support, justice doesn't whisper. It roars. Share in the comments if you've ever witnessed bullying go too far. And remember, even small acts of courage can spark big change.